On Karkishai here, welcome back to another video. Today I'm back, and today we're going over my personal top 3 shonen anime. Now, again, I did do a shonen anime video yesterday, which was Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and I did say if it done well, I might do some more anime content. It done alright for the most part. I know it's something completely different from gaming as a whole, so I don't expect the transition to be super popular, but hey ho. But I thought I'd start something off that could be very controversial to some people, because apparently you can't have an opinion in 2021, so there's that, but hey ho, I'm just going to go with this. So this is my personal top 3 favourite shonen anime of all time. So if you don't know what shonen's basically all about action mainly. Like, not super crazy, like I'm saying Re:Zero. That's not considered a shonen. Tokyo Revengers, I'm pretty sure that's not considered a shonen. Stuff like My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Seven Deadly Sins, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, stuff like those anime, like that's considered shonen. And in this, I'm going to be counting down my top 3 favourite shonen anime and my reasons why. Again, this is my opinion. If you guys disagree, that is completely okay. Just let me know in the comment section down below what your guys' top 3 favourite shonen anime and the reason why. But anyways, let's get right into it. Coming in at the number 3 spot, and granted this show is done as of right now, which hopefully if it comes back, it's in the production of a movie right now, but it is Black Clover. Now Black Clover, it's definitely had its moments. The manga itself started off really slow, and granted I never heard of Black Clover because, well, I'll get into like how I really go into anime once I get to my number 1, which is the show that literally got me into anime as a whole. But Black Clover was my second anime that really started to get me into anime. And I know it was weird, I wasn't the biggest fan of anime. I knew Pokemon, I knew Dragon Ball, but I never really watched them a lot. But then when I watched a specific anime, which is my number 1, which we'll get to in a second, led me into looking into more, which my second one was Black Clover. I heard a lot of controversial topics to talk about: the animation, the story, the characters, Asta screaming 24/7, you know. And granted, I didn't personally mind it, to be honest. I could see why it's annoying in both sub and dub, but I was just like, you know what, I can get used to it. I can relate to this dude. I scream 24/7 and I'm still surprisingly liked, but hey ho, and I'm not kicked out of my house for God's sake. But it's definitely really interesting, and I just really liked the motivation behind Black Clover, like with Asta not giving up, with him having a rival, with Yuno becoming the Wizard King, and then of course in the manga as of right now, they really have some really like a lot of backstory, right now. There's 300 chapters within the manga, and I think Black Clover just got up to, for the anime at least, it just finished at 291. Black Clover, the anime as a whole, has 178 episodes. It was catching up to the manga, and of course they decided to stop doing anime episodes. We got confirmed there's going to be a movie coming, but that's all we got told. We don't know if it's going to be something related to the main story, if it's going to be the remaining manga chapters, or anything else. All we know is that there's a movie coming. Whether as the anime show is actually going to come back, we don't know. But throughout the times I watched Black Clover, whether we had bad animation moments or good animation moments or badass Yami Sukahiro moments, it was just really cool to see. And again, my biggest thing was the motivation behind it, with never giving up and stuff, and just the whole experience was definitely cool. The characters have their own unique ways, like, again, one of them being Noelle, which most people complain about Sakura and Naruto, but then when you see Noelle and Black Clover, you think, damn, what a really good shonen female character. And then of course, along with other characters within this story as well, like Yami, which is one of the biggest characters in there. Asta being liked, granted he's screaming, but people love him for his absolute broken power, which is the anti-power, which, my god, like, his transformations are sick. And then, you know, granted, he's cool and all, but it's like, it's to the point where it's like, yeah, it's cool, I would definitely pay attention to him, but not as much as an MC, like, not as much as Asta. Because when it comes to anime and me, I'm the main person who always wants to focus on the main character, you know, that's what I want to focus on. But hey ho, I love Black Clover for what it is. I understand the problems that it has at the start, where it did, even with its filler moments, even when it had bad animation moments. I enjoyed it for what it is, and I can definitely see where people are still coming from and still not liking it. But hey ho, the anime's ended, and for all we know, it might come back. And again, we did get confirmed it's a movie, but that doesn't mean the story's ended. If you do want to read the story, you just got to keep up with the recent manga chapters, which I don't really know every time it releases a week. I think it's every Thursday. I'm not sure, but that's all I know. But yeah, that is why Black Clover is coming in at the number 3 spot. I want to give it to Jujutsu Kaisen now. Jujutsu Kaisen caught my eye a lot. Like, we got the first teaser, like, back ages ago when I watched, like, an anime AMV, and I saw Gojo, and I was like, who is this? Who is this? The anime wasn't even made, but it got confirmed, and when I saw trailers for it, and I listened, like, the first trailer I saw for Jujutsu Kaisen was the final trailer where it revealed the opening song for it. The opening song, the animation, and the characters, to me, I was blown away. I was like, oh my god, like, that shit was too nuts. And then when it released on October 2nd, I was on the edge of my seat. I wanted to see what this brung. And I never knew who Studio Mappa was. Granted, the only reason why I knew them was really because of Attack on Titan. But apart from that, that was really it. I didn't really know how good they were until Jujutsu Kaisen came along. When episode 1 was revealed, we got revealed to Yuji Itadori, the main character. And my god, it was such a great goddamn story. Of course, we're in season 1 right now, and we're getting a prequel movie, and then of course we are going to get a season 2. In season 2, I'm just telling you right now, if you haven't read the manga, I'm just saying, we've got good shit coming. We got good shit coming. But Studio Mappa done an amazing job to the point where I'd say Jujutsu Kaisen was on par with Demon Slayer. Like, Demon Slayer was so goddamn brilliantly animated, along with its music, along with its animation, the story, the characters. Jujutsu Kaisen was literally on par with that. I would probably say Demon Slayer was just a tiny bit over it, but to me, just something about JJK made me like it more. Now, this is no throwing shade to Demon Slayer here. I did genuinely like Demon Slayer, but to me, I'd say it's more of a top 5, not a top 3 for me. But I do love Demon Slayer. Please don't hate me in the comments. But Jujutsu Kaisen really blew away, especially with episode 19 with Itadori and Aoi Toro going up against Haname. And oh man, it was just a really, really good episode. And I was so hyped every time. Like, it was a Saturday of all the bloody days, the best days of the week. A Saturday, the new episodes were coming out. I was sitting on my seat and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And like, the first 3 episodes, it's got some action in there, but not enough to keep you, like, you know, strongly invested. But after that, it really starts to pick up with its beautiful animation. And granted, the first 3 episodes did have good animation, don't get me wrong, especially Gojo versus Sukuna in episode 2. But it just wasn't enough for some people. It was enough for me, because I fucking love Shounen to shit. But as a whole, I loved what Jujutsu Kaisen did, and I think a lot of people can agree. I definitely see, like, what problems people do have with the story and, like, the show and all, but to me, I don't know, just something that's caught my eye with Jujutsu Kaisen, and especially its music, because if there's one thing that I'm really invested into with anime, it's really animation, music, characters, and story. Like, you could say that for any anime, like, that's, like, the really big main things for anime, but I'd say really music and animation is the things that really catch my eye the most. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, literally done it perfectly. And I know with the movie budget for Jujutsu Kaisen 0, if you guys ever saw the video I made yesterday from the snippets I got from the trailer, you already know it looks good. So yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen, second favourite anime. I'm glad that it got a good adaptation, and I can't wait for season 2 and the movie to come out, and that is why Jujutsu Kaisen is coming at the number 2 spot. Now, I want to give an honourable mention here, because when I really did start getting into anime, the first 3 proper animes I did watch was My Hero Academia, Black Clover, and 7 Deadly Sins. Now, I think you guys all know what I'm going to give an honourable mention to is 7 Deadly Sins. 7 Deadly Sins was really good. I definitely liked the animation within the first 2 seasons, and I did like the story. And then, of course, we got season 3. Season 3 was definitely a big change, because after season 2, we got a movie for 7 Deadly Sins, which was really, really good. It wasn't really well received as the animation studio A1 Pictures was expecting, but because of that, they were like, hey, we're not doing 7 Deadly Sins anymore, we're going to focus on SEO and stuff, which, okay, that's fine. Switching studios isn't a bad thing, but it depends on what they can bring to the table. And in this case, it was Studio Dean. Now, Studio Dean isn't like the top tier best animation studio, and season 3, it didn't have the animation. Granted, I binged the whole of Seven Deadly Sins again when season 4 came out on Netflix, which is the final season, by the way, and then we got the final movie. It was definitely interesting, but Seven Deadly Sins season 1 definitely brought a lot to the table with its epic animation, its amazing music, characters, and story. Season 2 was a tiny bit of the continuation, and then we got backstory to more of Meliodas' character and what he's been through. And season 3 was a lot of character development, and sometimes when I think about season 3, it's like, to me, it's like, even if it did have good animation, I don't think it still would have been the top tier show. Like, to me, it was about learning more about Meliodas and Elizabeth and just the whole character progression. And then after that, I think the reason why people were so disappointed in it is because the animation wasn't as good for Meliodas versus Escanor. And that was like a top tier fight in the manga, and people were so excited to see good animation for that fight. And sadly, Studio Dean didn't deliver good animation for the most hyped fight, one of the most hyped fights ever in anime. And I think that was the main reason. Everything like before that and after that, it was okay. Like, granted, there were some fights like Chandler and of course Arthur as well, and then of course we got like a final war battle with Esterosa and stuff, but apart from that, I really want to say people really hated it. Seven Deadly Sins season 3, of course, it had bad animation throughout the whole of the show. It had some tiny good animation bits, but not really. But aside from that though, Seven Deadly Sins was definitely I want to say okay with season 3, because even if it did have good animation, I want to say it wouldn't be in the top tier season for story wise, at least. Well, actually no, that's not true. That's a lie. Don't count me on that. Seven Deadly Sins season 3 story wise was definitely amazing, but the animation was just not there. But it never really captured like my eye, you know. So yeah, well, it did capture my eye because of the fights like Meliodas versus Escanor, and granted, Meliodas versus Escanor, like where it started off in episode 12, I think people were very disappointed. But when it continued in episode 13, I actually thought it was genuinely alright. So there's that as well. But apart from season 3, I thought season 3 was okay, even with not the good animation. And then of course season 4, everyone was given it one last chance, and I think Studio Dean definitely delivered with season 4, as they were taking over Seven Deadly Sins as a whole. Seven Deadly Sins season 4 was the last season for Seven Deadly Sins, and people were so like worried if it was going to have good animation or bad animation, because the first 2 seasons had good animation, and of course the movie had amazing animation, and then the last season, which was season 3, it didn't have good animation. But when it came to season 4, I definitely say it was definitely improved. Not by a lot, but enough to be tolerable. And I very much like Seven Deadly Sins season 4. I'd probably say it's my second favourite season out of all the Seven Deadly Sins. And then, of course, when it came to the final movie for the Seven Deadly Sins Crossed by Light, I was really hyped for this. Like, one day I was about to leave for work, and thank God I was working in the afternoon, because eventually it released as soon as it hit in Netflix, and I watched that, and the music, the animation was on par. Even though it was animated by Studio Dean, they definitely did have a higher budget because it was a movie. So Seven Deadly Sins Crossed by Light, I personally want to say, is better than Prisoners of the Sky. Now, no shade to Prisoners of the Sky, but my god, Crossed by Light was definitely there. And of course, Prisoners of the Sky was definitely confirmed canon, as it takes place after episode 23 of Seven Deadly Sins season 4, just before everyone gets married and has their kids and stuff. But hey ho, Seven Deadly Sins, it was an honorable mention because it used to be my top 3 anime, but hey ho, but that is why Seven Deadly Sins is coming in an honorable mention. Now, coming in at the number 1 spot, this is really controversial for people because a lot of people didn't like the last season of this anime. A lot of people did. A lot of people liked the previous seasons. A lot of people liked the recent movie and the other 2 movies. And a lot of people don't like the fan base. A lot of people just hate this and that. And I know I have people like Chuck who are going to be on my ass for this, but I'm going to give a really big explanation as to why this is my number 1 spot. But the number 1 spot for me is My Hero Academia. Now, this is the thing I was talking about. My Hero Academia got me into anime as a whole. My Hero Academia is animated by Studio Bones, which is one of the best studios out there. Not as good as like Ufotable or Toei or goddamn Mappa, but I'd say they're in the top 5. And Bones definitely has delivered with My Hero Academia. Season 1 had only 13 episodes, and I'd say it was more of a kickstart saying, hey, this is an explanation, this is a set of characters that we're mainly going to be focusing on, and just everything else, here's the villains, here's that, that's that. And I think season 1 definitely delivered, because season 2 to me is probably the best season. Season 2 brought along the tournament arc, which was bloody amazing, by the way. And then season 2 brought in the exam arc, was definitely cool, but not something to completely blow me away. And then of course there was the hero killer Stain arc, which it's not the training arc, it's the hero killer Stain arc. And then of course we got season 3, which was definitely cool as well, with All Might versus All for One. And then of course we got the exam arc, and then Deku versus Bakugo round 2. Then season 4, I like, as of recently, I've seen quite a bit of hate for season 4, which is very strange, because season 5 was definitely the most hated season, which I'll get to as to why. But season 4 is my second favourite season. I loved the overall arc to bits. I definitely see why people hate it, because the animation was low for the Mario fight. But my god, Infinite 100%, you can't tell me that episode and that animation was banger. Like, that shit was cool. The whole thing with Gentle Criminal as well, I could definitely see why people hate it, but I didn't mind it. I definitely understood what it meant, but as a whole, I definitely did not mind it. And then of course, when it came to the festival arc, that was definitely quite cool as well. And then the final fight for season 4 was Endeavor versus the high-end Nomu, which was definitely a good way to send season 4 off. And then season 5 kind of went downhill. Season 5 first arc was not a tournament arc, but it was versus Class A versus B, which it didn't do well in the manga, which I thought, like, again, I never read manga ever, and I thought it done well when I saw snippets of what came after season 4, but apparently it never done well in the manga, and I could definitely see why when it was transitioned into the anime. And of course, I didn't mind it at all. I really didn't. And then when it came to the next arc, which was supposed to be the My Villain Academia arc, they decided to switch the two arcs around, which was the Endeavor Agency arc and the My Villain Academia arc. And the My Villain Academia arc is definitely the second best arc to me in My Hero Academia as of this far. To me, I think they done really good, especially how they mainly did focus on this year's My Hero Academia movie, which was the third movie in the series. But hey ho, and I'll talk about the movies in a second. Even though My Hero Academia Season 5 didn't do the best, I think it was an alright season. The first arc, I thought it was okay. Could have done a bit better, but it was alright. The Endeavor Agency arc, I didn't really mind, especially how that fight at the end where Midoriya, Todoroki and Bakugo fight that ending villain. I thought that was really good. The animation for Season 5 definitely wasn't as good, I'd say, as Season 3, 2 and 1. And I'm going to say Season 4 because people say Season 4's animation was bad. I don't really see it. I thought Season 4's animation was quite okay. But if there was any problems I didn't notice, let me know in the comment section down below. And if there is any problems, it was probably due to the fact that when they were midway through Season 4, that's when COVID had hit. So there's that too. But as a whole, I thought Season 5 was alright. And as for My Villain Academia, granted they did cut some stuff out, but that doesn't stop from the arc being absolutely godly with the 7 episodes it got. So My Villain Academia, I thought it was good when it brought into the anime, but I wish they just brought everything in instead of cutting stuff out. Now, as for the movies, the first movie takes place after Season 2, and we got to confirm that these movies were canon. The first movie, I see where it takes place. The second movie, I don't know where that takes place. And as for the third movie, it's quite obvious where that takes place. The first movie takes place after Season 2, where Midoriya is invited out to an island, and where he meets All Might's friend and then All Might's friend's daughter, and they work together to fight villains on this island that they've been set up. Like, they've been sent here, they never realised All Might was here, but they said, nah, it's okay, we can take him. Nope. And then My Hero Academia's second movie, which was a big shock to everyone, literally blew it out the park. Granted, it just specifically the ending for that movie, I don't know where it fits in. I want to say it takes place maybe somewhere near after Season 5. Well, not Season 5. Definitely not Season 5. What the hell am I saying? I want to say it takes place after Season 4, but I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that yet, but we'll get to it. I'm going to say it takes place after Season 4 because we definitely do see Endeavor's scar and we do get the introduction to Hawks, but the movie itself was definitely received very, very well. In My Hero Academia's third movie, which was World Heroes Mission, which I saw in the cinemas, it was definitely really received well. And I was surprised because I didn't think My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission, which is the third movie, would actually do better than the second movie. Surprisingly, it did by a lot. And I definitely did enjoy My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission more than Heroes Rising. I don't think they should have focused so much animation budget on the movie than Season 5, because Season 5 definitely could have been so much better. Granted, the first arc, it would still definitely get its hate, but I think the reason why My Hero Academia Season 5 mainly got its hate was due to the fact that they switched 2 arcs around. But aside from that, it was okay. It was okay. And my favourite thing is, personally, Izuku Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya, I see why people hate him as a main character. I personally like him as a main character. Literally, it's inspiring to see someone like Midoriya. And it inspired me a lot too. So, honestly, as a whole, My Hero Academia got me into anime. I love the show to bits. It will always personally be my number one. Season 6 is literally going into darker territory with the darker arcs coming and the war arc coming. Like, that shit is nuts! So, I think Studio Bones, if they can pop off Season 2, Season 4, like, goddamn, I just hope like they don't let this arc down. I could definitely see My Villain Academia's problems again, but I definitely thought it was still pretty adaptation well. But hey ho, Bones, make My Hero Academia Season 6 the best season ever, because it has the best arc ever in the story. So please don't mess this up. But as a whole, My Hero Academia literally changed it as a whole. I love the animation, I love the music, I love the story, I love the characters, the main character, the powers in this goddamn show. Like, I love this show to bits. So yeah, that is my top 3 favourite shonen anime of all time, and that's my reasons why. But yes guys, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please subscribe, leave a like, click the notification bell, always subscribe to the channel. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. What is your guys' favourite anime? What is your guys' favourite least shonen anime? Or just give me your top 3 shonen anime as a whole, and let me know your reasons why. Do you have the same list as mine, or do you have something completely different? But yes guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video live stream, boys. And goodbye!